Only at Big W.
You're watching Nine's live coverage of the Sydney CBD siege situation that's unfolding this moment about 40 minutes ago, where we saw two businessmen flee from one of the front doors of the Lindt Cafe, running towards armed police officers. And then moments later, from a fire exit, a Lindt staff member wearing that apron scrambling towards police with desperation. He was followed seconds later by that armed police officer. So positive developments in the last 40 minutes. We have been told, though, that those men did escape. They weren't released. Now, that is a live shot from the Nine's cameras outside the Lindt Cafe. They are the doors in which those men managed to escape. So we will keep that live shot with us across the afternoon. And if there are any developments, if we see any more hostages walk, run, release or escape from those doors, we will go back to those pictures live. Well, I'm joined in the studio now by Associate Professor Mehmet Ozalp, from the Director of the Centre of the Islamic Studies at Sturt University. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
We've asked everyone, what do you make of the situation? Are there words?
This is completely shocking and unprecedented in our history of Australia. It is a dark moment in our history, unfortunately. It is an act, detestable act towards all Australians, even though there are a handful of people in there. We all feel for them, and I just hope that they're released peacefully. I'm really happy to see that at least 3 people made out quite safely.
That was the moment I think we were all waiting for, a glimmer of positive news. What is the message you're getting from the Muslim community regarding this siege? How are they reacting to this?
There has been a great traffic of messaging, emailing, phone calls about this issue. Naturally, it's a crisis for all of us, including Muslim community. And there's 3 main message. One is that this act is condemned in its strongest words. And then secondly, the whole entire Muslim community, the people at least I have spoken to, the leaders, have expressed their sadness and about people who are suffering at the moment and terrified in this hostage situation, and Muslims hope that they are released. And thirdly, we don't have much facts, and there's a bit of a wait and see approach to see what's really going on here. Is this a single person or there's an organization behind it? What are his motives? Is he deluded? Does he have psychological problems, or is this a premeditated, really carefully planned action? We don't know. It's very strange, the fact that there's a hostage situation. One would assume that there would be shooting or bombing or some violence. Obviously, nobody hopes that, but that was the expectation. If there was a terrorist event, that's what we were thinking that would happen.
And hoping to counteract, I'd imagine, as well.
That's right. And this hostage situation is completely, it caught everybody by surprise. And one doesn't know what to do, what to make of it. He could be sending a deliberate message. It could be a very calculated move by him or those behind him. And it's working. It's getting the national and international attention that unfortunately it doesn't deserve. But one would hope that, we all hope that it ends peacefully. And I think it's very important to capture this person alive. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be in the position of the police officers who are currently at the scene trying to end this. And one would assume that they would shoot him if they would get a sight. While we would leave that to them, but I think it's important to capture this person alive to see why he has undertaken this act.
There's been so much concern in our community about the radicalisation of Islam, and so much concern about young men feeling displaced in our community, fleeing overseas. From the images we've seen today, though, it's not a young man that's there. Is that a concern for you?
Well, what we can talk about is radicalisation of some Muslims, not Islam itself. Islam is a very strong tradition. Actually, the Quran says killing one person unjustly is like killing our entire humanity, and saving the life of a person is like saving the life of all humanity. Religion, somebody who follows this religion has to hear this message, and clearly these people are not reading the Quran the way other mainstream Muslims are reading, and they're acting in the name of this religion. And we would assume that this person is a Muslim. Obviously, there's a message with the flag or something that looks like a flag that conjures up the creed of Islam. This is the sad part of it. The whole religion is hijacked by one person. And this is what Muslim community has a double sadness in this respect. On one hand, they are fellow Australians who are sharing this terrible moment in our society. And on the other hand, they're worried about the backlash, inevitable backlash that could come towards Muslims through Islamophobic rhetoric and actions.
Let's certainly hope that isn't a problem. We understand the concerns, but what we've seen today is a representation of no faith or no political agenda at all. So
I think it's very important that we show an act of solidarity as Australians,
Absolutely.
irrespective of what ethnic and what religious background we come from. We are all Australians. We all live together in this beautiful land. We all benefit from the safety of the society and the opportunities that it gives to all of us, that makes our lives livable and preferable to live in Australia. We want to keep it this way. We want to keep our country a safe, harmonious society.
that's a good message to end on. Thank you so much for your time this
Thank you.
afternoon. Well, let's go to Canberra now, where Associate Professor Nick O'Brien joins us. Nick, your expertise is in policing and terrorism. It appears to be a very calculated and well choreographed attack, even though it is a lone wolf attack. How